Hey everybody, I'm Danitza. For those of you who think that's a difficult name to pronounce, you are correct. I'm here to start this YouTube channel again. I tried a few years ago and it was bad. I was going through a horrible depression, so it was not a good time for me to start. I had no creativity. I don't know why I thought it was a good idea at that time, to be honest. Things have changed. I'm in a better place. I just am not feeling super creatively fulfilled. So I thought this might be a good way to do it. So this is the time of year when people start sharing their resolutions or their hatred for resolutions. And quite honestly, I've always been part of the latter group. I thought resolutions were stupid because it's always the same thing. People are like, I want to lose weight. Or it's something unattainable that they're never going to follow through on because they make this huge grand commitment, but they don't actually make the commitment. They just say they're making the commitment, if that makes sense. Like, for example, people are like, I'm gonna run every day. You're not gonna run every day. Very few people will actually follow through with that. Like, and I know that I'm one of those people who's not going to follow through with some grand commitment. So I thought this year I would do things a little differently. I would actually set some goals, but not a whole year. I want to try 3 months, and I think that'll be very helpful for me. My 2019 was the worst. I was sick through almost all of it, asthma and other stuff. I was put on medical leave a few times, and it was just not a good year. From the end of August through the end of December, I had a cold on 4 separate occasions. That's about once a month, just about. So, and I also threw my back out. My asthma was really bad in the spring. Other stuff was going on. Like, it was not a good year for me. So I'm hoping to make changes in 2020 that will make it a better year. And so I have goals. And it's not a lot of goals, but it's some goals. I want to start looking at the first 3 months because I feel like that's attainable. That's something that I can see through to the end. So my first goal has to do with my health. My body has not been the strongest, and my mind has not been the strongest, and I'm not like, I'm gonna go to the gym all the time because I have horrible asthma. I'll die. But I do want to make sure that I'm taking care of myself. I have a lot of chronic conditions, and I've been really bad about taking my medication. Part of it is that I was on so much that I was just super overwhelmed and had to take a break. And the other part is just that when you take medication for a long time, you get tired of it. So I had 2 really good years of taking it every day, twice a day, exactly when I was supposed to, and I only missed like maybe 2 doses in the entire 2 years. But then last year rolled around and I basically stopped taking my medication. It was very sporadic the whole year. I noticed the differences it made in my body and my mind, and I should know better, but for whatever reason it was a really overwhelming time for me to be taking all that medication, and they kept adding on more, and keeping track was getting more and more complicated. Sometimes the medications were once a day, sometimes they were twice a day. A couple of times it was like 4 or 6 times a day, depending on what they were giving me. So it got too much and I stopped. In terms of fight, flight, or freeze, I am freeze, and so I froze. And there were a lot of times during the year where I was like, okay, I'm gonna do it, but then I wouldn't do it. So my biggest goal probably for this year is to do that consistently, take my medication consistently. So we're on, as I'm filming this, it's January 3rd. I've already missed 1 dose, but that's okay. It's a good start. And quite frankly, that was because I just fell asleep. And by the time I woke up, it was too late for me to take the medication. Like, it wasn't a good time to take it. My second goal for the next 3 months is to be more creative. And that's kind of one of those grand things where you're like, oh, I'm gonna be more creative, but you don't make steps, you don't make a plan for it, you don't follow through. I'm gonna start out slow. I want to do 1 video a week because I went to film school. I should be using those skills for something, right? And another thing that I really want to do is set aside just 1 hour a week to do writing. My focus at school was writing, and I really miss it. I feel like writing is one of my biggest wellness tools, and when I don't write, things kind of fall apart. Like my brain isn't as clear. So I think setting aside 1 hour a week for the next 3 months to write, whether that's a screenplay, whether that's a book, whether that's a journal entry, whether that's an essay, you know, whatever it is, just 1 hour a week. I feel like that's manageable. And I know I've been putting it off a lot in the past couple of years because I have this job that by the time I get home, I am exhausted. But I think if I can set aside 1 hour on the weekend maybe, or on my day off, which is currently every other Friday, then it should be good. And I'm looking forward to that. I miss writing. And I think I need a little push to actually make it happen. My third goal for the year is to declutter. I've been watching a lot of videos on minimalism, which is, you know, whatever. I don't think I could be fully minimalistic. I like stuff and I have hobbies, so I have things, but I have too much stuff. My current living situation is that I'm renting a room in a house. And so this is not my room. I didn't paint it this color, although I love this color. Purple's my favorite. But I have too many things. I have things from when I lived in San Francisco years ago that somehow got left to me. I have things from when I lived at my mom's house. I have things from when we moved to a different house. I have things now that I've gotten since I've been living here. And I moved here at the beginning of April. So I just have stuff. I have so much stuff. I think I'm past pack rat and I'm almost at hoarder. So I think in the next 3 months, just getting rid of things. I want to start with, behind this camera is like a cube storage thing where I have my TV and I just have junk. So that's a focus. Some of it is stuff that I need. I have like a little basket with all my toiletries and things since I don't really have another place to put it. But some of it is just like, I have a lunch bag there that I haven't used probably in a 1.5 years. I have like 7 wallets that I'm probably never going to use again. I can see them right now. I just got to get rid of them and like let go emotionally so that I can make that happen. And also clothes. Because I was sick so much last year, I gained a lot of weight because I was on steroids for my asthma and other things that just, I gained so much. I actually went up a size, and I hadn't gone up a size in probably 6 or 7 years. And so I had a lot of clothes that fit me that I loved, but they don't fit anymore. So I'm trying to get rid of them. I have a couple of things on Poshmark, but that has become really overwhelming. So I think I'm gonna just reach out to people and say, let me bring this, check it out, see if you want it, and if not, it's just gonna get donated. I am looking right now, I have a giant, well, it's not giant, it's a medium-sized U-Haul moving box full of clothes that don't fit. And I have more in my closet. I haven't gone through the shirts and stuff. So I think if I make the time, it doesn't have to be every day, but maybe once a week to just go through stuff, say for 2 hours. Maybe 1 hour, 2 hours sounds like a lot, but it'll help. Because I'm looking at it right now and I'm like, girl, you don't need all that stuff. I have makeup going back like 10 years. I don't need it. I don't use it, but I have it. So those are like my 3 major goals for the first 3 months of the year. And I think come April, I'll make a new video. I'll give the update on these goals and see what's going on, make new goals. Maybe I'll increase the writing to 2 hours a week. Maybe I'll have gotten rid of so much stuff that I no longer need to declutter. I don't know. But I think I'm in a good space. I don't feel sick anymore. My body feels strong. My head feels strong, except for this horrible cough that I have that I'm trying to edit out. But it might slip in there. And I think it's a good time. So I look forward to getting writing done. I look forward to not feeling super anxious in my room because there's a mess everywhere. I look forward to making changes. Little changes at a time. So that's all for this video. I look forward to making more in the future. Hit the subscribe button if you think I'm even halfway interesting. Or even if you don't, I don't know. Just hit subscribe. That feels weird to say. I don't know how people do it all the time in their videos, because self-promotion is the weirdest thing. But yeah, if you feel so inclined, hit subscribe. And if not, then, you know, I guess don't. And I will be back.